What is going on, people, and welcome to a brand new tutorial on disconnected designs. And in this one I'm going to teach you how to motion track text in Sony Vegas Pro 13. Now this isn't actually one of those crappy ones where all they do is teach you how to pan the text. I'm actually going to teach you how to make the text look as if it's actually sticking to a surface and facing the camera. So the first thing you want to do is actually open Sony Vegas Pro 13. You want to get the video, you want to have the text motion tracked onto, and probably one of the most important things, oh don't worry about that, probably one of the most important things you need is a point of reference. Now this is not like Cinema 4D where you have a 3D plane. The only thing you have to work with is the image that you are trying to make the text look as if it's sticking to. Now I've actually got this big wall back here, and I'm going to use this corner of the wall here as reference. So you want to right click on the video text and click Insert Video Track, and once you've done that you want to go to this little symbol down here. This will say compositing modes. Click on that and change it to 3D Source Alpha. You'll know you've done it right once the little symbol changes from an infinity symbol to a 3D symbol, and once that's done you want to actually insert media generator, and you'll see legacy text just here. Go to sample text, default text, and just drag it onto the layer right there. Simple as that. Make it say whatever you want. I'm just going to make it say your text right here. Also, do not be afraid to change the font. After you've done this is just like a little personal thing I like to do. Go to effects, scroll down a little bit, have a draw shadow, change the colour of that shadow to white, trust me, and then make the Y offset 0 with the X offset 0 too. This will make your text look as if it's glowing, and I think it looks kind of nice. Now, that's it for the text. Now the last thing you want to do is actually you want to go to this little thing here. It says track motion. It's on the layer where the text is on. So you want to go to the very start of your clip, where the text first appears, and then click track motion. Now this is the scary part. It does look kind of intimidating, doesn't it? I thought this at the start first, but once I got used to it, it was a piece of piss. So this is basically your text. Simple as that. You can move it about up to the top right, I'll move it up to the top right, down bottom left, simple as that. All you've got to do is click the inside of this square here. So I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. And as you can see, it says Y, X and XY. So this is the Y axis, you can make it look like it's tilting. And this is the X axis to make it look like it's tilting horizontally. It's really simple once you get used to it. And this is the XY axis to make it look like as if it's actually, fucking rotating. So I want to make it stick to the right of this wall here. Now I want it to make it stick to the actual corner. So I'm actually going to, drag it off the actual frame here. I think this is necessary for it to actually make it look like it's got the reference of the top right of the wall. So you want to make it, whatever size you want at your point of reference. So to make it look like it's actually sticking to the wall for me, I've got to tilt the right end of the text towards me. Now it's actually quite simple. It's as simple as fiddling around with the X and Y axis until you've got it in the place that you want it to be. I think that's a decent place. It kind of looks like it's actually on the wall there. I think I need to change the XY axis just slightly, not that much, just until I've got it right. I think that actually looks pretty decent right now. It kind of looks on line with this here, and I'm assuming that the X of the text will actually be in the top right corner. So what you want to do after you've done that, go to the very end of your, at the very end of your clip, and then press left once. That'll take you to one frame before the clip is actually ended. Now once you've done that, you want to drag this back on, or wherever you put it, and you want to put it in the position you want it to be, at your point of reference. So to do that, I've got to make my text a lot smaller because the camera actually goes quite far away from the point of reference. So for me, I've got to adjust the XY axis, make it a lot smaller, and just put it in its place. And again, this is why a point of reference is actually so important, because if you don't have one, you don't know where your text, the text actually doesn't know where it wants to go. So there you go, the T is in the top right corner of the wall. That is my point of reference. Now if you actually watch the clip back, it actually doesn't look right. You see, it's just kind of hovering there. But this is why you have to do this a couple more times. Go to the middle of your clip and do the same thing you've just done. Make it, touch your point of reference. My point of reference, as I said, is the top right corner of this fucking wall here. So I'll just put it there. Tilt it horizontally if you need to, tilt it vertically if you need to. Whatever you need to do to make it look like it's actually on the point of reference. If you want to make it look tracked, that's what you've got to do. There you go, that looks pretty good. Now it will look a little bit better. Still not as good as I want it to be, but this is why you do this multiple times throughout your clip. The more times you actually do this, the better it will look. So So I'm actually going to do it in between the middle and the start. And I'm also going to do it between the middle and the end. Now the more times you do it, the better it will actually look. Now it kind of depends on what your text is doing. If you want the camera to orbit around an object and you want the text to make it look like it's actually sticking to that object, it will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But this is probably the fastest way to do it. For me, this is going to take a while because, you know, the camera is actually changing, you know, perspective on the object. It's also changing the distance away from the object, its orbit around the object. You know, that's why a lot of changes have to be made. Now, this will probably make you really appreciate the amount of work people who make montages put into their videos, because this is the sort of stuff they have to do. Nonetheless, I'm just going to get on with this and I'll show you the end product. Now you see these little dots here, that's the amount of frames I've actually done. So I've only done, in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 frames. I've only done it 9 times. Now it didn't even take 10 minutes. And if you're making like a big fucking montage, and say you just got text in the intro, it will only take about 20 minutes. But say if you're doing like a really long one, like my friend Nugget does, you know, it's going to take a while. But using your point of reference is really, really important for this sort of work. So I'm going to show you the end product right now. I know it doesn't look perfect, but if you spend more time on it, it will actually look a lot better. Now this is kind of a slow motion image, you know, the movements do look a bit more sudden than they should. Now I'm not actually very good at this, but you see what I mean, how you can make your text look like it's actually sticking to an object. I know this whole thing here does look really scary, but once you get used to it, it's actually really, really simple. Anyway people, if you did like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Disconnected Designs and I will see you in the next chapter.